Hello and welcome back, everybody, to the MLB DFS slate breakdown for Tuesday, September 16th. We got 11-game slate on tap. A lot of different ways, and we're going to dive into it shortly. But first, I'm your host, Tyler Wiemann, and come join us at LineStar. We have the best app, best mobile platform there is, and we come at one low price for all the sports we cover. You also get access to the website as well as either app, Android or iOS. Come join us. $39.99 per month gets you access to all we do. Props, DFS, you get it all. Also, we have a free trial. If you are new to LineStar and want to give us a try, just come download the app, LineStar app, and give us a free trial on Android or iOS. Now, let's dig into the slate a bit and see what we can uncover on this beautiful slate. As always, we're going to start by the perfect lineups, then the winning lineups on both FanDuel and DraftKings before we get into the pitchers to consider today, the high owns, maybe some pivots off them, and then we'll do the same with stacks, going over the high owned stacks, the highest projected stacks, the highest ceiling, the leverage, all that good stuff. Now let's dive into it. All right. So the DraftKings perfect lineup had Kyle Bradish. He went for 26.45. Then Simeon Woods Richardson, who was big time leverage. Everybody, including me, thought the Yankees would have a decent day, but Woods Richardson comes out and puts up what a game. Goes 6 innings, 11 strikeouts, 0 earned runs, got the quality start, got the win bonus. Congrats to him. He had a day. Then we had a Cincinnati stack, 3-man Cincy, and some one-offs after that with 43.8K and a 244.95 lineup score. Congrats to them. Now let's jump in onto DraftKings and see what we got. Beaker 913 had a 177.85, a 1 by over 6. And then their lineup was Shaheen, Simeon Woods Richardson. So getting different at pitcher. Shaheen didn't get the start yesterday. He ended up being a long reliever, but he had a day. I was going to be heavy on him until that happened. Then I switched and put a lot more of my volume going towards Bradish, which worked out. But then they had lineup-wise, we have a 2-man Minnesota stack, a 5-man Cincy, and a one-off of Junior Cam. So all in all, 5-2-1, got it done once again. Congrats to Beaker. You won 20K. Now let's get over to the FanDuel perfect lineup. Simeon Woods Richardson had his day. 2-man red stack. My home run call of the day, Bryce is in there. 2-man Twins, and then a one-off of the rookie prospect, Zach Cole, who has had a time since he's been called up. His first game goes for 38, 3, 6, then 29. Congrats to him. He is having a great beginning to his career. Then Perdomo Hodges, 30.6K salary, 318.1 with that perfect lineup score. And the winning lineup goes to C. Blumenthal, who had 10K. They had Gallon. They had a, 4-man St. Louis stack, one off of Schwarber, one off of Betts, and then a 2-man Cincy. So the old 4-2-1-1 gets it done. Congrats, C. Blumenthal. You got it done. You won 10K. Now let's get into today's slate and see what we can uncover, starting with the high-owned stacks. Only real weather concern is Cincinnati, and I don't think it's that much, or sorry, Kansas City. I don't think it's that much of a concern. The game should play. We only have it as a 5% chance of PPD. Now, our high owned, we got Logan Gilbert, 21.1 point projection. The consensus at 16. Logan Gilbert has big time upside as he has a great K rate, but big worry here is that he is averaging 56% less fantasy points win away. His 33% K rate is great, and it does show high upside, but he's just not as good while away. And he's in a spot where the Royals don't strike out much. 16% K rate over the last 20. They do have a low average, but a high ISO here versus righty. So Gilbert is a very good pitcher. He can absolutely overcome this type of stuff for one game, but I do worry about him being the highest owned. There are some other spots to go in the slate. I don't think we have to go to Logan Gilbert. Fine to get some, but I'm going to probably come in under the field on him. Next, AJ Bloombaugh. Now, he is showing decent as a projection here. My thing I got to point out is the fact that he pitched 4 days ago, went 19 pitches. Before that, he went 40, 42. You know, his pitch counts just aren't very elevated here. So while he has some solid strikeout stuff, 28% K rate over the last 20, 29 over the last 5, I absolutely worry about what his leash is going to be. The fact that it's just 4 days ago makes me think 30, 40 pitches was probably the ceiling. And that strikeout stuff warrants, you know, the ability to play him. I just don't think he has much of a ceiling. Therefore, I am not going to get him. I am fine if I get 0 of him. And I think 21% is surely too much. Next, we got Christopher Sanchez, 9.5K versus the Dodgers. 3-star alert score. He is worse away, 27% less fantasy points away. Dodgers have a decent ISO, decent WOBA versus lefties. It is not a comfy spot for Christopher Sanchez. And over the last 20 games, Dodgers have been raking 306 average, 210 ISO, 374 WOBA. Only striking out at 18%. It's not a great spot for him. Wally is a very good pitcher and has been dominant lately with a 1.62 FIP and a 27% K rate. I don't love the spot for Christopher Sanchez. Just like Gilbert, I'm fine getting some, but I'm not going to go overboard. Next, we got Freddie P, 10.5K in the best strikeout matchup there is right now. And he has been dealing 2.97 FIP over his last 5 with almost a 35% K rate. Meanwhile, the Angels, 31.7% K rate with a 186 ISO, average, a 140 ISO, and a 266 WOBA. This is an elite matchup for Freddie P. 33.3% combined K rate. We just don't see very often. I think it's a very interesting spot, and I don't mind some Freddie P. The ceiling is just enormous here, and he should be your highest owned pitcher. My guess is by the end of the day, he probably does, and I'm still going to get a lot if he is the highest owned. Merrill Kelly, 8.7K, 18% owned. Not in the best spot. Houston hits righties pretty well. Decent WOBA, decent ISO, a low K rate. The only thing really going for Kelly in this spot is his BVP data versus Houston. 176 average and 54 plate attempts, 18% K rate. I don't mind some, but I'm not going to go super hard on Merrill Kelly here. He's been decent with his time with Texas, but hasn't been great. 4.3 FIP over the last 5, 20.8% K rate. His last 20 K rate is 23%, so there's a little more upside there. I don't mind him. I think 8,700 might be a little high price for him for how he's been pitching and the spot that he's in. Next, we got some pivots. We're going to start with Erod, 2.4x. We have him at 6,500, 15.5 point projection, 13 for the consensus projection. And the Giants haven't been great versus lefties, striking out at almost 25%. Low WOBA. The issue here, Erod's averaging 40% less fantasy points while home. His home park in Arizona obviously plays up to hitting, and Erod has been decent lately with a 3.58 FIP over his last 5, 17% K rate, 4.62 over the last 20, and a 20% K rate. And then StatCast data has actually been very, very good. While the Giants have been hot, even over the last 20, they've still struggled versus lefties a little bit. I don't mind some Erod in this situation and just taking the chance that at home he can have a decent game. He did it versus Boston last week with 6 innings, 1 earned run, 4 Ks. They are also a good offense. So he can get it done. 6,500. He's too cheap for the ceiling. And then I wanted to talk about Cam Schlittler at 8,200 versus the Minnesota Twins. This dude has been dealing 2.04 FIP over his last 5 starts with a 31% K rate over the last 20. And it's not really 20. It's more like 10 starts that he's had so far. 3.78 FIP, 26% K rate. He's allowing a lot of fly balls, and Minnesota can hit the ball hard. But outside of that, I'm good with all the rest of the StatCast data. And the opponent splits over the last 150 games. They do strike out at 22% versus righties, 20% over the last 20 games. They do have a high ISO. So as long as Schlittler can, evade some bats and not have hard contact or barreled balls, he is primed for a good game. And a 25.8% combined K rate at 8,200 is super, super interesting. Then we got Shohei. He's 8K. The Dodgers pushed him back to be able to start versus Philly. Dude's been dealing 1.81 FIP over his last 5 starts with almost a 37% K rate. Huge K upside. Now, he probably only goes 5 innings again, but at 8K with that type of K upside, there is a path to playing him. He's keeping the ball on the ground. He's not allowing hard contact. He's allowing a ton of soft contact. He only has 1 barreled ball and 33 batted balls. I think it's a very interesting spot with the 28.8% combined K rate. Now, this Philly offense is super good, but we got strength for strength here because we know Shohei is a beast on the mound as well. So I don't mind at 8K some of him. The thing is, you have a guy like Schlittler that's going to be able to go full out at 8.2K. So maybe there's not quite the ceiling to warrant Ohtani, but if he goes 5 innings, he strikes out 8-9 guys and, gets the win. That's enough ceiling for me at 8K, and it's totally possible to happen. Getting on over to FanDuel. Let's get on to our pitchers over here. Thank you guys all for joining us. Please like, comment, subscribe, do all that good stuff. If you are on YouTube, if you're on X, like or heart, retweet, do whatever you can and spread the show a little bit. It helps us big time. High owned Freddie P. He should be the highest owned. He is. I'll have a bunch of them. 8,100. Erod does scare me a little bit. He's only 1,900 less than Peralta, and I would way rather Peralta. I'd probably even rather Gilbert at 1,200 more. Then if we come down, I think it is interesting for Schlittler at 9,400. Big time upside. Shohei at 7,700 is interesting. The issue here is he's going to have to get the win. Not likely that he's going to go 6 and get the quality start, but he could at 7,700 still be optimal if he gets, one of those outlier strikeout games where he gets 8 in 5 innings, which is possible. The man can do it. They let him go 87 pitches just the other day, August 27th, and they do 87 again, that actually could get him into the 6th inning, but we're not sure what they're going to do as far as an inning limit for him just yet. But I think the upside is there enough to warrant him? Now, let's get over to some stacks. And we will start with the high-owned stacks of the day, and that is the New York Yankees versus Zebby Matthews. Zebby, 4.22 FIP over the last 5, 4.52 over the last 20. The thing with Zebby is he allows some hard contact and he allows some home runs. Two things that the Yankees do very well. I'm fine getting some Yankees here. Miami versus Freebomb. Freebomb is way worse in Colorado. This game is in Colorado. Anytime you have a Colorado game, there's obvious reasons to want some of those hitters. I'm fine having some of them, and 60% ownership is nowhere near enough to chase me off just because of ownership. Projection, we got New York and we have Seattle. Seattle versus Waka. There is, some of the better hitting weather on the slate in Kansas City, but Waka, 2.93 FIP over his last 5 is very, very good. 3.78 over the last 20, and he is better at home. I think it might be a tough game for Seattle here, but they hit the ball hard, they hit home runs, and the weather is decent. Warm weather, or the warmth is among the top on this slate here. So don't mind some Seattle. Not going to go super hard on them either, though. Highest volume or value, we got Texas versus Bloomba. Now, again, Bloomba is probably only going, 2-3 innings, something like that. Then you get the bullpen from Houston. High ceiling play, we got Mets versus Michael King. Mets are always like a higher ceiling option just because of some of the bats they have are very good. Seattle's popping up, Philly's popping up, and those I'm interested in, as well as Yankees. With the thing with the Mets, they're going against Michael King, who is very good, but is going to be on a little bit of a pitch count. I think he only went like 60 last time out. Maybe that gets up to 70. All in all, though, he is not going to be there the full time. And Padres bullpen is dealing with several injuries right now, so they're not quite as good as they were. Don't love facing Ohtani, but we've seen him give it up. Zebby, we've talked about. Seattle, we talked about. Let's go to our high leverage. Padres versus Clay Holmes. Clay Holmes has given up 3-4 runs in most of his starts lately. So there's absolutely warrant to going to the Padres here. The issue, you get by Holmes and you get a very good bullpen. So while Holmes can give it up, Holmes can give up 3 or 4. I think most likely is that Padres aren't having a game where they go for 8-9 runs. I think most likely is Padres end up in 5 or 6. You can use some of their players, but you don't necessarily want a 4 or 5 man stack of them. Mets, Philly, we talked about all them. Let's click the teams tab to give a whole rundown here. So 5.4 for Miami versus Freebomb. It's in Colorado. Obviously, some interest there. Milwaukee at 5.1 versus Caden Dana of the Angels. Now, there's a few reasons I like this. Dana, FIP over the last 5, 6.64. Nothing great. He also gives up a lot of home runs. And Milwaukee can score fantasy points in a ton of different ways. Now, Dana does probably have a bright future in front of him, but he's a little young in the tooth right now and a little raw. He needs to work on his craft a little bit more. And thus, I love these stacks with Milwaukee probably going to have a decent amount. And it looks like Yankees and Miami are going to go high owned, but Milwaukee may not. Arizona versus San Francisco, not sure who they are throwing out there yet, but behind the starter is a good bullpen. Colorado versus Miami and Yuri Perez. Yuri Perez is boom bust, and we're talking about a Colorado game here. Behind Miami, or behind Perez, is just an okay bullpen. Perez gives up hard contact. He gives up high average exit velocity. Thinks it makes some sense to want some Colorado. Seattle and Waka at 4-5. Giants at 4-3 versus Erod. This is one of those boom bust spots. I don't mind some Erod in a very, some Giants versus Erod in a very hitter friendly ballpark. Tampa Bay at 4.3 versus Barrios. Definitely some upside here. Jose Barrios is a guy that can, I guess he's like a lot of Toronto pitchers where they can have their day. They can go 6 innings, 6 Ks, 0 earned runs, and then the next time out, give up 6 runs in the first. Bassett's the same way. I don't mind some Tampa Bay stacks. Don't mind some Toronto stacks have been hot versus Papoy. Papoy is a good pitcher, but I don't mind a little bit. Cincinnati, St. Louis, fine. My not my favorite stack, but definitely interesting. D Johnson, yes, we have a prop show coming up after. It'll probably be at about 11:15 Pacific time or so. Baltimore, I don't mind it, but don't love it. And pretty much everything down here, I don't mind, but I don't love. I might go some Angels because they can hit some home runs, and Peralta can get a little wild with his control. That guy is on, and then you only need 1 hit to really change that game, and there's some leverage going against Peralta because he's probably some high owned. My favorite stacks today are definitely up here, though. I like Giants. I like Colorado. Arizona is a wait and see. I don't want to count them out yet, but Yankees, Milwaukee, and Marlins are my favorite ones for the day. You all have a great afternoon. We will be back in a bit with the MLB prop show, and that will do it for us. Talk to y'all later. Peace.